started from a very humble beginning as a prep cook in TGI Fridays, and for 6 or 7 months after being a gold medalist in the college, I would wonder that am I going to just keep slicing cheese and chopping cabbage, all my life? And those are the questions that were hitting me hard on my face.
Guys,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
we all give a big internet moguls welcome to Chef Ajay?
Virtual welcome to everyone. How are you all doing? Thank you so much for the welcome.
Awesome. So, we always start with the hero introduction where we say the shortest distance between two human hearts is always a good story. You tell a perfect stranger a good story and you win a heart for life. Ajay, what is your story?
Well, my story, and I cannot, say it as beautifully as you do, because I think you've become a master in telling short stories, which I'm still learning. But my story is that, I came from a very small city. I was born and brought up in and around Delhi, but cities like Sonipat and Alwar and, eventually Faridabad. And sometimes when I look back, I see that, it is only God who has helped me to, come to bring me to a place where actually it's all about his mercy more
Mm.
than my skill. And I just thank God for where I am today, because I think this journey wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have the energy, the mercy that I could get through so many horrible situations sometimes that I came through in my life. And then I still pursued, and I think pursuing is my story.
Lovely. So, Ajay, I know that I've known you from, from back in the day, and you were working in so many hotels. You were known, and how the Master Chef happened. Can you tell people about that story?
Yeah, so I think that story could take a little bit of time, but I think Avi, I'll take that time. So yes, worked in hotels all my life, and started from a very humble beginning as a prep cook in TGI Fridays. And for 6 or 7 months after being a gold medalist in the college, I would wonder that am I going to just keep slicing cheese and chopping cabbage, all my life? And those are the questions that were hitting me hard on my face. But then I think the whole idea of keep pursuing what you really want, and that was because of many mentors that came my way, who kind of helped me, motivated me, and then from there moved as a commie to Cecil Shimla. Then did my OCLD, which is the most prestigious thing that can happen to a hotel graduate in India. And then life started to journey with different hotels. So I worked with the Marriott for about 4 years, then went to London for about 3 years, then came back to Goa Marriott. And that's where one afternoon I was just sitting in my office, and I got a phone call, and this guy gave me a KOT, a roughed up KOT, saying that there's a call for you, chef. And I said, who's that? So I looked at the piece of paper, and it was all dirty with oil marks and everything. And I just read through. It's a PR company. So I called my PR lady. Reena was her name at that time. I said, Reena, there's somebody from a production house wanted to speak to you. And 2 hours later, she comes back running and says, hey, chef, you know what? This is great. Master Chef is coming to India. I said, so what do I do?
Uh-huh.
And she said, no, they want you as a judge. I said, oh, okay, let's talk. And that's where I think the whole journey began. We went through a gruesome training to actually become who I am today. I was very camera shy. I was not as good in speaking and expressing myself. But I think that whole journey was an amazing one for me. But more than my whole development, I think what really stood out was that talent is something that is hidden in each and every home. It's just about people need to brush up that talent to really bring that out, and you cannot imagine how much more can come out of you. And that's what we saw in MasterChef. Simple, basic housewives coming in, and in 6 weeks they were making croquembouche, which a hotel graduate would make after 3 years and still not make it well. But these guys just did it after 2 or 3 trials, and like, wow, this is not something that they have to go to Le Cordon Bleu for that, but it's just your pure play dedication and striving that leads you to where you are. So I was completely encouraged with that.
Lovely. So you're saying keep marching. You don't know which the next opportunity could be just around the corner.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Ek bada, I know you're a deeply spiritual person, and you and I connect many times on faith. So the one thing that every entrepreneur asks him or herself is, "Kitna? How much should I try, and how much should I leave it? How much is enough?"
Yeah,
Have you asked yourself that question, and
I,
have you found an answer?
I think I keep asking that every now and then, Avi, and I'm sure every entrepreneur does, because sometimes I would say, even Mr. Ambani would say, how much is enough?
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's about the striving to the next goal. The moment you hit one goal, striving to the next goal is what keeps you going. And as a human being that God has made us, He's given us the aptitude and the skill to actually keep striving for more. Whether it's a simple farmer who's had a bounty this year, the next year he will make sure that he will invest that money, take another farm, and probably expect another bounty next year. It's as simple as that. So why not, as an entrepreneur, I think about various options. And I think the pandemic was a time where a lot of entrepreneurs actually took stock of what they were doing and how could they do things better. I was one of them, and I realized that I thank God that I had put my eggs in not one basket but many baskets, and that's how, if one basket broke, then the other basket was still going on for me. And today I'm a content creator, today I'm a YouTuber, today I'm somebody on Facebook, because I kept getting messages from people. Hey, we saw you in MasterChef, we're seeing you after so many years. And that, for me, was an understanding that people are every day on their phones, but they're
Right.
not every day on their television sets.
Mm.
So there's a
Good
big
one. I like
difference.
that.
So I need to be on their phones every single day.
I like that. I love that. Be on the phone. Yeah, they're not on TV every day, but they're on phone every day. I love that. So I
Yeah.
remember that जब pandemic नया नया हुआ था, उस time आपकी मेरी बात हुई थी, and at that time while the whole world was scared and thinking क्या होगा, you had already plans to set up a new studio, and you were buying your new gadgets and hiring a new team, and maybe you taken another apartment and you said मैं studio बना रहा हूँ, and आज आपके videos on Instagram are going crazy. So when everybody was scared and saying सब कुछ बंद करो अभी थोड़ी देर के लिए, how did you have the guts to double down on your efforts?
So I don't know if anybody in this group of 130 people uh, do believe in the Bible or have read the Bible, but there's a story in the Bible
There are
about
many.
this. But there's a story about this man called Isaac. He was Abraham's son, and Isaac went to a time where he was seeing famine all around him, and in that famine he hears God's voice saying, "Sow, and you will reap 100-fold." Now,
Wow.
the point is that when you hear this simple statement that God spoke, you know, for men it's very impossible thought. Hey, how can I hear God? But listen, God is alive and He speaks to His people. He wants to speak to His people. It's just like you and I want to speak to one another. He wants to speak to His children. And in that time when He spoke to Isaac, Isaac, in a time of famine, had 100-fold bounty. And that was the same thing God spoke to us, as in me and my wife Amrita, through that pandemic. That sow in something new. And that's where we got the confidence, and we started to just call every friend of ours and find out what is this all about. Because although I was in the industry of the cameras and filming and shooting, but that wasn't my core. But here I was pressurizing myself to learn something new. What softwares do I need to buy for editing? What cameras do I need to buy? What lenses? And then it was a step of faith. That is very I can put this statement. It was a step of faith, and we are seeing. That it's a time that we've sowed. Now we are waiting upon God to bring it 100-fold, and that's what I think I gathered the faith and courage from.
That's fantastic. Because usse pehle, you were creating good content. You were going from hotel to hotel. You were going from event to event. People were calling you. All of a sudden, you realized faster than anybody. Because I think pandemic शुरू हुआ था उसके 3 4 5 हफ्ते के अंदर आपकी मेरी बात हुई थी.
True.
And you were thinking of taking a studio before anybody could actually make sense of what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. You were like, I'm going to the next level. So that next level, like you said, required a lot of money. And now, when does that money come back? Nobody knows. But the
True.
thing is, social media was always open. So
True.
now let's shift gears and go into social media. when did you start believing in this forum, saying that this forum can get you known, leads, and sales?
So I think I'll just go back to 2003 when I first joined JW Marriott, and the person there who actually sat me down and spoke to me was my boss Elton, and he said that you have to understand the power of media. At that point in time, and I'm sure that you must have come across chefs like us who would actually hate the PR department because they just take too much time, and they just want too much effort from a chef, remake this, refilm this or reshoot this. Hey, I don't have all that time. That's what all the chefs would say. But at that time, I realized the power of media. I had no idea that MasterChef is going to come my way or anything like that will happen. But I think 2013, when social media actually started to grow, a lot of people spoke to me that Ajay, you aren't there as much as you should have been. And I told people, I said, hey, listen, it's not me, it's not my personality. I can't blow my own trumpet every single day. And then somebody very senior in the industry, I don't want to name him right now, but very senior in the media industry, and he was almost at the top ranks of O&M. He said, there's a common saying, if you don't blow your own trumpet, people use it as a spittoon.
Interesting.
And that statement just hit me, and I said, okay, fine, so this is the business now. Everybody is showing off. I don't want to show off. I want to add value in people's life. How can I add value? Now I know cooking. I can add value in people's life in cooking. So I can give them hacks, I can give them tips and tricks. And trust me, Avi, I'm not bragging here, but before Reels even began, I had already started to showcase shortened content because I realized that people aren't watching it. I put a 10-11 minute video, nobody's watching it. The moment I shortened it to 4 minutes, people just picked it up. So I already made a property called as Jhatpat Kitchen in my Instagram, which was a huge success. So I am shooting a samosa and chutney video. All I did was after I did a re-edit of the chutney and I combined 6 chutneys and I said, "How dip kare?" So this is how I started to create small content which people started to really enjoy. Now, this is how I added value in people's life because it's IPL time. People are wanting to see a good snack which is not time taking, and I can quickly make it. At one point in time, I'm servicing their needs of that. On the other hand, I'm also helping them how to plate at home. On the other hand, everybody in pandemic was wondering when will we ever get back to restaurants. So we did a series of restaurant food, how to make restaurant food at home. Because to be honest, it just needs that ingredient and that skill. So if I'm imparting that skill to you, I'm adding value in your life. And I think that's what really, really helped us. To answer your question, which I have not answered is yet, when did social media really become meaningful for me? I think it was in the year 2020 March. And I'm being obviously honest. I was on social media, but I was not on social media the way I should have been. But once the pandemic hit, I really evaluated, reevaluated where I was, what I need to do, and now we're gunning for more.
So now social media is your everyday thing. You get up in the morning, you already have a script, you have a team, you have the camera, you have amazing lights, everything on. How do you script for all of the people over here? There are 134 entrepreneurs, and everybody is thinking, अगर मेरे पास भी setup होता ना, अगर मेरे पास भी system होता, मैं भी कर देता. So what is your message to everybody to say what is the basic structure that they need to get started with everyday content?
So the basic structure is this, right? I am sitting with my phone. I don't have much shadows. Right now I have a shadow. So I need to make sure that the light is coming on my face so I don't have a shadow. And my face is clearly visible. I need to have a decent earphone or a headset so that my voice recording is clear. I'm not in a very noisy zone. So I need to just understand from my viewer's perspective that if he gets to see me talking in a very clear format, which if I'm speaking, it's going straight into his ear. And that is my responsibility, by the way, as a content creator. I can't blabber. I have to get very clear communication. So the crisp it is, the short it is, the better it is. So you can do small bites. So if you want to speak 20 lines, resit on those 20 lines, cut it to 30%, then cut it more, then cut it more till the time you can't cut anything more, and then speak those lines. So I can explain a recipe in just 3 lines. Take a pan, heat oil, add jeera. let it crackle, put in the dal, tadka done. So that's how crisp it has to become, because people don't have the patience or the energy to go through a long talking session. Maybe right now a lot of people are here because they want to gain that value, and that's why they're here. So it's audience which has got an appointed time with you and me. But if it was just my time, I'm sure nobody wants to hear this lecture to be honest. But people are hearing this because they want it.
So you're saying Instagram short snackable content so that
Yes.
people can understand who you are and take value back.
Yes.
Abhi, in the first few instances, let's not think about monetizing the audience. Abhi to unko aapne value diya. Now
So
that is for Instagram. What
yeah, so
about
I'm saying,
YouTube?
yeah, so I'm saying, first of all, we have to understand. So as a content creator, I have to understand what these mediums are, right? So for example, I'm a chef. Why do people come to YouTube to watch me? So I have to understand that very clearly. They are not here to look at how smart I am or how well I'm talking. They are there to learn food, because if I have to learn food, and this is a research done by YouTube themselves or by many content creators, that if you really want to know or learn, so every how-to question is not punched on Instagram, not on Facebook, but on YouTube. So how to
Lovely.
make
I love
eggs,
that.
how to
Every
make
how
eggs.
to question is not on Instagram or Facebook, but every how to question is on YouTube.
So
Fantastic.
so somebody very senior in this industry said, फेसबुक पे लोग खाना देखने आते हैं और इंस्टाग्राम पे लोग खाना दिखाने आते हैं, लेकिन यूट्यूब पे लोग खाना सीखने आते हैं.
Ah,
So
nice.
I have to showcase what my best are on my Instagram, because Instagram is short, snappy, not more than 1 minute. And then Facebook, I can go to about 4 minutes, again, snackable content, which is nice and interesting. So I can see. So there's a content creator called as Sanjot Kher. He makes
Yeah.
amazing videos, and me as a chef, I don't know about everybody else. Me as a chef, I'm drooling after seeing his videos, and I want to get to the kitchen and start making those dishes. That's how good your content should be in terms of visuals. But for the beginners, trust me, if you're starting on YouTube, depend on your skill set. Do what you can do best and try add value in people's mind. Don't try to think कि मैं YouTube पे जाऊंगा और मैं पैसे कमाने लग जाऊंगा. If that is
Uh-huh.
your intention, you'll probably hit $1,000 mark, and that's it. Post that will be your
You'll hit
end
a
of the,
$1,000 monthly mark.
if at all.
If okay.
Yeah.
But
But
the thing is, so guys, for all of you people who are getting, who are getting inspired by this talk, we today have a guest who is known all over India and now internationally. He did not start as a social media content creator. He is a chef. He loves to do what he does. He used the medium to amplify his message and get into everybody's homes. So you can do the same, because a lot of people say, "वो तो social media ही करते हैं." We are not a social media, sort of a family. But here is somebody who adopted and adapted to the changes in social media. A, because he understood the power his mentors taught him, his colleagues taught him. Also, because during the pandemic, everybody had to do something. And I loved the story of Isaac, who said you'll have a hundredfold bounty. So with faith, he jumped in. And during pandemic, my biggest respect to you, Ajay, because during pandemic, everybody clamped down and said, we believe in God, but sab Bhagwan humko bacha lega. That much we believe in God. We don't believe in God that much to be able to invest money now. That required another level of faith. And the fact that you and your wife together took that decision and were in that same boat was fantastic. So, um, moving on, I want to ask you, when you structure your day, when you go into your studio, can you tell everybody what you do? Do you script beforehand, or do you just randomly go and say, "Aaj main ye bataunga," and some camera angles, some shots? Give us some behind the scenes on what happens behind your show.
okay. So firstly, I don't shoot every day. I don't even shoot every week.
Yeah.
So for my YouTube content, what I do is that I shoot for a month. So I shoot like, I put 3 videos a week, so which means 12 videos a month. So I shoot about 15 videos a month. And in between that, there might be some brand work that keeps coming in, or if I have to shoot something for Instagram or for Facebook. But generally, what I do is that when I'm shooting for those 3 days, I have my master list ready. So,
Okay.
on the same day, I will shoot something in a 9:16 format for Instagram. So if I'm shooting a recipe, for example, my appam and stew recipe has come today. So whilst that was being shot over 3 cameras, I also shot some shots, some swipe up stories, some behind the scenes, so that when I'm posting my Appam video next month, I am ready with these snackable topics as well. So I'm thinking a holistic view, not just for YouTube, but also for Facebook, also for Instagram, even for a channel called Roposo that I am on. And today we hit a 1 million follower mark on Roposo.
Wow.
So this was just in 6 months, by the way. So thank God for that. So now that is how I plan for my larger shoots. But for my smaller shoots, so for example, like I said, Instagram, people really want to jump into our lives and see what this guy is doing on a day-to-day basis. So sometimes I'm just talking about the weather. Sometimes I'm just talking about the pakode that I want to eat. I'm so craving for it. Or somebody like wife made rajma chawal. So I'm missing mama. So right now I've just come to my mother's house in Faridabad, and I'm waiting for dinner since I'd already promised you this time. But as soon as I finish, I'm going to hit the dinner table and click those pictures and tell people that, hey, I'm at mom's place, and I'm going to enjoy mom's cooking today. So it's about being real to your audience as well. It's not just about putting another face. Nobody wants to see another face. No, you're not a model. You're not a Bollywood celebrity that you have to become Ghanshyam one day and Sham Sundar the other day. You are who you are. So
Right.
you showcase people who you are. If Avi Arya loves to go onto the mountain top and said, hey, let's go to the mountain top with my lovely vlogging Sony camera, and I'm going to show you from the top, not just the mountain top, but also the top of industry. I love that. I love that bite about you, because that was you. That was you telling people that, hey, I can do it. You can do it. It's about
Sure.
bringing people to that reality. And today, social media's biggest disadvantage is that people make believe a lot of things which are not reality. That's the disadvantage. But the advantage, on the other hand, is the same. People also believe what is true. So it's totally, the onus lies on us what we really showcase people. If I showcase that, you can make idli in 10 minutes, but actually I've made it in 1 hour, that's lying to me and lying to everybody else. People have to be taught. That's why they will follow. And I made that one mistake, Avi, and I thought my butter chicken was the best butter chicken because a lot of people have told me. But unfortunately, the day I was shooting, the butter chicken gravy wasn't as thick. Whilst
Hmm.
I'm making it, and I can realize it, so I'm trying to thicken it myself. But when the edit came, I didn't check the edit. The voice was that aapki gravy thick honi chahiye, but actually on the visual I can see a thin gravy. And
Okay.
I was trolled on that, and that recipe didn't move, because butter chicken is the highest searched recipe on internet. Every
Wow.
content creator who has made butter chicken has hit 1 million views like this, but my recipe didn't. And I realized, when I read the comments, I said, wow, that's a mistake. People need to be told the truth.
Amazing. So,
So
but I
be
like the
authentic.
research. Butter chicken is not only because you make the best butter chicken, but also you realized from a content perspective कि 1 million views का यहाँ potential है. So you research content. Can you tell us a little bit about how you research content?
Okay, so that's the most important part of it, because it's like putting fuel in your car. You can
Hmm.
have the best car at your home, but if you don't put the right fuel, then you're not going to go a long way. So research is based on 3 topics. One is you have to know that where and which season are you in. So if you are in winters in India, and I know that 80% of my public that watches me is from India, I can't be cooking a chilled mango shake.
Right.
I can't be showing them that. I have to show them a hot nice soup, or something more with mutton or chicken, or something nice and warm, which kind of warms me up. I have to be very conscious about that. So which season I am. If I'm in mango season, I must show mangoes. If I'm in strawberry season, I must show strawberries. So seasonality is very, very important. Then you go to www.googleanalytics.com, right? And you research from Google Analytics what is being most searched. Now, in that search, you have 2 options. One's a web search, one's a YouTube search. So you get both the options with you and say, okay, this is what people are doing. So people are finding out more about dosa. I realize I already have a dosa. Hey, but I don't have a rava dosa. So let's make a rava dosa. That's going to click. So it is fueled up with that click ratio. So more people are shown, because Google understands that dosa is trending. So you made dosa when it was trending, and you got the hits. The third thing that you have to be aware of is when you are putting up your video, again, the commonality and genuinity of the content is very, very important, but it's also about what time. So the research is very important. What time are you putting? So there is a heat map that the YouTube analytics gives you. So you have to go through that heat map, and it tells you that maximum of your traction comes at, let's say, 2 p.m. And that's why I'm posting all my videos at 2 p.m. So time, seasonality, as well as what is trending. These three have to be taken care of. Apart from that, there are tools like TubeBuddy, which help you to give the right keywords. You have to have the right thumbnail. And then when you put your video, it is very much possible that it garners great traction. But hey, I must also make people aware that, I have started my YouTube journey only seriously last year. So it is not a 1 day game. It is not a
Yeah.
1 year game. It is going to take time. So if I have to hit a million, either, I am Badshah, that I can hit a million in a month, or I have to work my way towards it. Be patient, but be consistent. So if I'm putting 3 videos, I keep putting 3 videos, however hard it may hit me.
Hmm. And then so once you've done all of this, you said you don't shoot every day. So whenever you shoot, you send it off to editing, and
Editing happens in the same place where I am sitting, so I have
oh
more
really?
control over it. So yeah.
Okay. So you've realized that the investment as a because that you realize that one part of your aspect, जैसे एक HR department होता है business में, एक accounting होता है, एक content creation department भी in-house चाहिए full time.
So I have realized that because I realized that restaurants are not operational. My whole 90% of my time was going in restaurant consulting. I was opening restaurants across the globe, and that required me to travel a lot. But hey, I'm not traveling. There were more restaurants, so let me focus my time in doing this. And that's why I also realized when some people called me and said, I can't figure out making chapati even after looking at a YouTube video. So what I realized
Right.
that a YouTube video can only give you this much. It can give you 5 minutes of understanding of how to make. But if I had to really learn from scratch, there is a lot of data across the channels, across the web, but no consolidated data for somebody who's a beginner. So that's where we came up with this new business idea where we launched our app called as Cook Academy. And in Cook Academy, we had 3 levels: basic, intermediate, and advanced. I must thank you for guiding me through that as well. So, with the basic level is called as Ka Kha Ga of cooking. It starts with how to hold a knife, what is the kitchen, what is all about, then how to make a roti, how to make a paratha, how to make rice, how to make dal. So, if you are a new, person who's learning how to cook, or you're thrown off in the US because your parents wanted to do higher studies there, but वहाँ पे Indian खाना है ही नहीं.
Huh.
Or if you're in Canada, just like Avi is right now, and you don't have Indian food around you, but you want to cook, say, so you can download the app and learn from the basics. Then the intermediate levels are, obviously a little more advanced, and then the advanced level is there. So this app is, obviously there are a lot of players are doing this app, but I'm doing it purely from the perspective where I want to teach people who are in need. So my vision is that tomorrow, if I have to do a restaurant consulting, I can do it sitting in India for a restaurant in Vancouver, purely because it's about learning how to cook, making your menu, making your costings. You can do all of it in Zoom. And I think, Avi, there's no better example than you who's proved that businesses, new businesses can open during this lockdown, and you've done it. So if you've done it, I can do it. I can do it. Everybody can do it.
Awesome. Love that. So, what's the name of the app for everybody over here? I know all of you people know about Ajay's show, Ajay's Instagram, but if you don't know about this app, I would encourage all of you people to download this app. Can you tell us the name again?
So the name is, I'm actually typing it also. It's called as Cook Academy. On Play Store, it's called as Cook Academy. And on App Store, you just have to download the My Student app. And since it's a third party app, so I have not developed the app. So that's why this. So on
Sure.
App Store, it's called as, you have to download the My Student app, and you have to put the ORG code YXWKV. I'm just putting it in the chat box as well.
YXWKV. Guys, remember this. Get into the app. You're getting it straight from the creator.
There is Street Food of India. There is Mithais of India. There is baking, Kakhaga of baking and intermediate baking coming very soon. There is Italian food, there is Mexican food, and a whole lot of basic Indian food. So you will love to learn, the nuances, the recipes, and also what goes behind it. So lots to learn there.
Before I go ahead, can I tell you the biggest challenge that I'm facing right now, this minute? Is
Yeah.
that I'm trying to go through a 14-hour fast, and you just told me what all is available on your app.
I think you can just look forward to the 13th hour and 57th minute, and
Right.
yeah, that's what you can look
That's a
forward
good
to.
one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Ajay, what I love about the conversation that we have is obviously there is a structure to everything. That's how you became, India's top chef. But that same structure you put into your videos, like I'm sure many other chefs around the country must be calling you and saying, "इतनी जल्दी कैसे कर लिया यार तुमने? हम भी तो कर रहे हैं, नहीं हो रहा," all of that. But
It's
I
not
know
been
that
easy.
one thing that is always there in everything that you do is faith. And there's another, all of these entrepreneurs here are people who work with us in a 1 year program over digital. We teach different businesses from different parts of India on how they can develop digital entrepreneurship. So one question from Swati Naidu is that great, all the amazing hard work Ajay is putting it, but what if your life throws you challenges, every day? Maybe there's something at work or health problem or something in the family that throws you off balance, and I'm sure that happens with everybody. And I wanted to take this question for you because I know that with faith you've powered through every problem in life. So how would you answer Swati's question?
So Swati, I think we have to go back to what Avi started to explain, that for everything there is a structure. God made a structure. He made a day and he made a night. It was a structure. In the night we sleep, and in the day we work. That's the structure. Now, similarly, the structure of a family is very, very important. That's how God made the family structure. Now, in the family, if there is unity between the husband and the wife in the thoughts that they have, there is growth. You always see that. When there is no unity, after a while you see the husband or the wife breaking down, right? So that's structure. So I operate with that structure. Now faith enables that structure, prayer enables that structure, and it helps me to go on every single day, because without that structure I fall down. And gay, I fall down. It's not that I'm all good and everything, but I fall down. But those days I need to go to God and say, God, unless I have your mercy, unless I have your grace, I can't go on. And that enables me. So all you have to do is, even in the kitchens, I have to always tell my chefs that, hey, listen, guys, not everyone knows everything. So when you're in trouble, all you have to do is raise your hand, right? Raise your hand, somebody will come and help you. But
Wow.
people become shy in raising their hands. There is no problem in asking for help. I wanted help. I asked Avi Arya, and I realized he was sitting in Vancouver, and I called him at 3:30 in the afternoon. Maybe guy was sleeping, and I'll call you in the night. And then we spoke for about 2 hours. I raised my hand. I said, hey, I need help. I don't understand anything about this. Can you help me? He guided me. Right. So you have to ask help. Ask and you shall receive. That's what the Bible also says. So, it's about asking help and following the
Lovely.
structure
And so ask for help from God also sometimes, to say I can't figure it out
every day. I live by
every
that
day.
every day, every day. And I love,
Lovely.
Avi, when you say thank God. I love your post just saying thank God, because I think that is something people don't do enough. We don't thank God enough. We don't thank each other enough.
So, I'm going to take another few minutes because I know your mom is waiting for dinner as well. And I really, really appreciate you taking the time out. It's going to be breaking news. Chef Ajay, kahan jate hain khana khane ke liye? So,
Oh,
that will be
this
the
is no
post.
breaking news. I tell you, Avi, I am a foodie by heart, by soul, by mind. I can go to gullies to get the best chaat. I would be in Indore, in Sarafa Bazaar for the whole night to enjoy the charts. If I. So I can go anywhere where there is good food. खाने के लिए कुछ भी करूंगा मैं.
Lovely. सो खाने के लिए आप कुछ भी करोगे, तो माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, यहाँ बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अपने अपने किसी ना किसी चीज के लिए कुछ भी करना चाहते हैं, बट उनको लगता है दिस इज नॉट कूल इनफ, दिस इज नॉट बिग, दिस विल नॉट बिकम बिग ऑन सोशल मीडिया। अपने ही बिजनेस को और अपनी ही वैल्यू प्रोवाइडिंग जो उनको whatever business they have, whatever, उसको डाउट करने लग जाते हैं, नहीं यार this, but you are saying something as simple as खाने का मेरे को शौक है और मुझे खाना सिखाने का शौक है, and after that the celebrity status and the stardom and everything are ancillary. You're not
Yeah.
talking about that at all. You're talking about the love for food, the love for teaching people how to make food. बाकी सब चीजें अपने आप आती हैं. So people who undervalue the product or service that they have, what's your message to them?
So I did mention before that if you don't blow your own trumpet, people will use it as a spittoon, which means
Right.
that you have to believe in your product. Avi, you worked very closely with hotels, and I had this biggest problem with our sales team, who started to think that our restaurant just does a menu. You know,
Yeah.
I said, listen, you are sitting on the 18th floor. The view that you have, no other restaurant has. You are making the best croissant in the city. Nobody's making that. Now, if you don't believe in your own product, how are you even going to sell it? That was my question to the sales guys. Now, this is my question to every entrepreneur, that it is good and great to take a stock of things in your business. You have to go back and say, hey, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? But do not undervalue your own product, which actually is good. And a good way to do a dipstick test is to just send it free to 10 people and say,
Right.
what do you guys think about this? You know, unbiased answers. And they will give you perfect answers for yourselves. Evaluate that with what's going on in your heart. Don't just take 100% of that. I never take that. I take 50% of that and 50% what God is putting in my heart. If both of them matches, I'm spot on. I'm going the right way. If they don't match, I work on that product more. That's what I do till the time I perfect it. So it's a balance that one needs to draw between, is my product great? Some people can just take a bad product and say, no, my product is the best. Even that is wrong. So you have to take a stock of where you are, how you are, what is it doing in the market, and you have to take from your learnings that, okay, something's not right, I need to change.
Wow. I love this. This was fantastic. You said f- take feedback because you don't know. But when it comes, use your own heart and gut as well. Don't take everything. You know where your product is. It's your baby. You know how it's doing. So 50-50. I'm going to use that as well. Because sometimes what happens is you throw out feedback into the market and you get defensive, or you get, you just go 100% with whatever the market is saying. So have a mix of both. I think that was fantastic. So, before we wrap up, I have two final questions. One is, I see that a lot of people know about all your various mini shows within your show. So can you just quickly break down what all there is and what kind of shows are there on YouTube and Instagram, so people know exactly where to navigate that journey from tonight
So,
onwards?
so YouTube, there is a channel called as Chef Ajay Chopra. I had many channels before, but now it's all back into one channel. It's Chef Ajay Chopra. You will see this guy in the blue jacket, folding hands, so you can't miss it. On Instagram, it's again Chef Ajay Chopra. On Facebook, again it's Chef Ajay Chopra. So I've kept it common, so for just very ease of finding it out. That's another key that if any creator wants to use, try and keep the name same so that people are easy to search everywhere, right? So Ask Avi Arya is so embedded in my mind right now that I don't have to think, so it's Ask Avi Arya. So it's like that. And so Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I am not on Snapchat. I'm on Twitter as M Chef Ajay Chopra. That was Master Chef Ajay Chopra at that point in time. I've not changed the name. But apart from that, I think there are a couple of TV shows that have been going on right now. So on ZZest, there is India's 50 Best Dishes. And very soon we're going to start shooting for another one, which is called as, I'm not supposed to reveal the name though, but yeah, it's coming on Z Cafe. Let's just keep
Awesome.
it at that.
Awesome. So, my last question before you go, what is with all the faith, all the success? See, we know whenever success comes in, utna hi doubt bhi aata hai कि, like you said, will it continue? Um, should I put, I've got this much money coming in. Should I put it all back for another 5 year, 10-year future? Things are always, in motion. What is the next 5 year? What can India see in the next 5 years with Chef Ajay Chopra? What is your, where are we going to see you?
So, you know, um, I believe in God, that by now, but I also practically believe in God in many ways. The book of Proverbs actually teaches me everyday lessons. So the book of Jeremiah says, my plans are higher than your plans. So that's
Right,
what God says. And when I hear that, then I say, why should I plan?
right,
But that's not right. God says you still plan, so that's an order. So what I've planned, I'll share that. But again, as the pandemic told us that nothing can be planned, whatever you
right,
plan can be thrown off. So I'm just going to share what I have planned. So what I've planned is Cook Academy to reach new heights, where it goes to somebody who does not know cooking, but also goes to a hotel management graduate where he can learn something more than his college. It also can go to a restaurateur where he can learn, how to make a new menu. It can also go to a small entrepreneur who wants to open a QSR chain. So I'm going to have different models in Cook Academy where, if I'm a new entrepreneur, I want to open a home chef business, I can do that. If I want to open a QSR, I can do that. If I want to, apply for a management training program and I'll need to learn through the industry skills and traits, I can do that, because I'll have general managers and everybody coming in and taking lectures there, management lessons happening there on Cook Academy as well. So this is Cook
Lovely.
Academy. Apart from that, I think content creation is something that I'm going to continue. Restaurant consulting is going to continue, and I'm in fact, we're sitting right now here for a meeting. I'm toying around with the idea of making Indian mithais glorious. I've always wondered, why does a Fauchon sell their macaroon at €3,
I
and
know.
why is a motichur laddu never sold above 10 rupees? So
Right.
that's the change I want to bring. So I want to bring a change where we can take Indian mithais to a level where everybody can pay good price to it. And that market is niche, I know, but then I'm trying to see that through.
That again makes it difficult. Those 14 hours, ko aapne, you haven't made it easier by saying that. The 14-hour fast with talking about these mithais now. Awesome. But that was fantastic. We let you get back to your dinner. My regards to your mom and everybody at home. And guys, for all of us, Chef Ajay has taken the time out for all of you people for the second time within a year. Can we all give a big, big, big thank you to Chef Ajay in the comment box?
Thank you. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Avi. Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you,
friendship.
Ajay. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.
God bless you. Yes.
Thank you.